My loves, I am so happy and so pleased to announce that this episode is brought to you by my very own company, Savage Chocolates, which is all about cultivating a more loving relationship to your body and to food. You know, we don't really believe in guilty pleasure. We just believe in pleasure done well. Right? Have you ever had that candy bar or thing of ice cream and you eat it and you're like, wait, I don't remember eating that. Wait, where'd that go? Well, that's why I created Savage Chocolates, because I know the importance of pleasure. And I think that we don't slow down enough to actually experience it. And so if you are wanting to eat mindfully, if you are wanting to be reminded of how to actually experience your pleasure, then please go to www.savagelosangeles.com to order your goods. All right, you guys, let's get to it.
Sam Skelly, thank you so much for being on the show today. I'm fucking already so jazzed about life.
I'm so excited to be here.
Can you just give us a little bit of a download of who you are, which is obviously the biggest question that we're all trying to figure out, but what you do and why you do it, and just give us a little tea.
Side note on that, if you do the exercise and ask, who am I? Who am I? Who am I? And you strip it down, what I get always is I end with nothing. I'm nothingness. There's a nothingness. There's just an emptiness, you know? And the mind is so trying to find but I do this and I'm this and I have this and I do, you know, but when we take it all away, it's there's just an isness, a beingness.
Everyone, the truth bombs have already begun. It's so real. And we attach to all this stuff because that's what makes us feel safe, right? We're like, oh, this is who I am. Oh, this body. Yeah. This rack. Totally who I am. This, you know what I mean? The whole thing, it's who I am, but you're right. It's the isness, it's the business.
Absolutely. So what does this beingness and this isness do on a daily basis? Well, let me tell you. So I fell hard for breathwork 10 years ago when I was recovering from my eating disorder. I was in Bali and I discovered it. And I was like, wait a second, we can regulate our nervous systems and heal our trauma and anxiety just using our breath. What? Yeah. And I was and my second thought was why does the whole world not know we can do this? We're missing out as a collective. So 10 years later, here we are. Pause Breathwork is my baby. And the Pause brand as a whole, and then under the Pause brand, Pause Breathwork is the main shing. And the whole mission of the company is to help humanity regain their power by teaching them that they are their own drug. We are our own drug. We are the medicine to our nervous systems. We can heal our bodies through our breath. We don't need to distract and numb out. And it's just a blessing. So we do that through our technology company, our app, our services. We have a breathwork facilitator training, online programs, courses. We do festivals, in-person festivals, to bring the magic there. It's just so much fun. This is what I do.
So cool.
Yeah.
You're so cool. I'm serious. You're fucking super cool. That's so powerful. I want to hear more about this. And disclosure, you guys, I was on her show and I already heard this story, but I really want people to hear about your first breathwork experience, because I was my mind was popped open.
Yeah. So I had an eating disorder from 18 to 23. So I grew up as a child actress and a dancer, and I had body image issues from when I was 12, but it never manifested into an eating disorder until I was 18, which is quite strange. Yeah. So 5 years of just body image issues, but I didn't mess with food. So at 18, I started with a cabbage soup diet. One thing led to the other. I was on over 50 diets in less than 4 years. And I had a complete disconnect between mind and body, head and heart. I was a walking head, over controlling, over analyzing, structured mind. Everything was coming from fear. And the interesting thing is I knew I was operating under a machine that was keeping me in a state of suffering, but I had no idea how to get out of it. And so I did personal development like a crackhead. I did all the podcasts, all the books, all the things, all the blah, 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 blah. I did so much mindset work. And I had no idea about embodiment work. So I ended up going to Bali, and I was reading the book, Eat, Pray, Love. She went to Bali. She found that medicine man. And I was like, I'm going to go to Bali and find that medicine man.
Dope.
And this was at a time in my life where I really toggled between numbness and anxiety. There wasn't much else in between. It was just those two narratives. And so went to Bali, found this medicine man. He did acupuncture on me where he just poked me with sticks. And at the end of the session, he was like, your brain's broken. And I was like, okay. He said, you think too much. You need to meditate. I'm like, I hate meditation. Like, I can't stand meditation, like sitting there feeling so uncomfortable. Like I want to escape from my body. Like I hate this.
Yeah. Like on fire. Like
on fire.
Yeah. Fire from the inside out. I was
like,
right there with
you. It sucks so much. Like I would sit there for 20 minutes and get up and I'm like, well, I'm now more stressed out. I don't think I did that right. So he told me to meditate and I was like, no, but I was like, maybe meditation is different in Bali. So I went to this meditation studio, and there was actually no meditation at the time that I showed up, but there was a breathwork class. And I looked at the community board and I was like, breathwork, like what is that? And I'm like, I'm here, divine timing, let's go. So I walk up these stairs, I open the door, and there's this man who's dressed all in white and he looks like Jesus. And I was like, this is strange. And then everyone's lying down with pillows and blankets. And I'm like, this looks like an orgy. What am I doing here? What is breathwork code for?
Please never stop ever. Thank you. Yes.
And I walk in there and this Jesus guy, he's like, are you ready to go on the ride of your life? And I was like, this is really turning out to be orgy-esque.
Yeah.
So I was like, yeah, sure, why not? And he was like, you are going to experience feelings in your body that you've never experienced. You were going to go through the whole range of emotion just using your breath. And I was like, bro, I feel anxious and numb, and that's it. I don't know what you're talking about. But I'm like, all right, let's do it. So I lie down and I start breathing in this very particular pattern. And within moments, my body was just feeling electric. It was feeling alive. It was tingling. I was like, my mind was clear. My heart was open. I truly did go through the whole range of emotions, like everything. And I'm like, whoa, this is unbelievable. And I was breathing for 3 hours. It felt like 15 minutes. And I woke up from that experience and I was like, what just happened? Why does the whole world not know we can do this? This is madness. So I went to my Airbnb, or it wasn't an Airbnb 10 years ago, but you know what I mean? It was like a home, whatever. And I started Googling on this horrible internet that took like 5 minutes to load each page. I'm like, what is breathwork? Why is this happening? This is so incredible. And I ended up using breathwork every single day to heal my eating disorder, because when you're in your body, you can tell the difference between an emotional hunger cue and a physical hunger cue. You know that. There's no disconnection. You're there. Right. And so I healed my eating disorder. I then began, I got trained in breathwork, took every certification on the market, started teaching my clients it. And 10 years later, here we are. So it is the most incredible healing modality. That's like self-healing modality, you know, like I'm a big, I do feel that plant medicines are so incredible and such amazing teachers. They're not healing you. You still got to do the work, but they give you the maps. Breathwork is powerful because it actually helps heal you. There's it releases the anxiety, the stress, the tension, the suppression in your system, and you process it out. You are doing the work, and your body is the drug. So here we are.
Dude.
It's fun. So I'm just sitting here drinking sparkling water, doing this for a living.
Praise the Lord. Thank you for sharing that. That was so beautiful. And you and I have so many things in common. Just our journeys are really beautifully similar. And so I just want to say, I really see you. And I completely concur that breathwork was the game changer for me, for sure. That distinction of being in your body and feeling the reactivity of like hunger pangs versus like the reactivity of like quick try to hide that feeling. Yeah. hunger pangs, or hide that feeling through starvation, hunger pangs, either way. Wow. Thank you for just making that so clear for us. If you guys haven't checked out Sam's Instagram, checked out Pause, I'll put, of course, all the links in the show notes, but just you have such beautiful tools for us. And I'm so grateful for that. You talked a little bit about feeling like a walking head, like you were like up here, but not fully embodied. And I know you've been talking a bit online in particular around like the intersection between like our soul and then also like our physical body and like how we show up in the world. Can you just talk to us a little bit about how we are spiritual beings having a human experience and how those intersect?
Yeah, totally. So oftentimes we are so identified with our humanness that we forget that we're a spiritual being.
Yes.
So we're so identified with our humanness. And more importantly, we're so identified with the wounded parts of our humanness that have a consciousness level of like 3 years old, 4 years old, 5 years old, right? So we are living in these parts. As we grow up, and our parents, miss the mark in our development in certain stages, which all parents do. I don't even have kids yet, and I know I'm going to fuck them up, right? Because it's like we can't be perfect. So what happens is that creates wounds and ruptures in the body, and it develops these little parts of us that are frozen in time. And what happens is the external world tends to trigger all of those parts. So we end up living lives in the consciousness of those parts. Now, there's a tool that I teach called observation versus identification. When we are identified with those parts of us and we're not we're not observing them, we become them. We view everything through them. When you, something happens and you get triggered and all of a sudden you react like right away. And then 5 minutes later, you're like, oh God, I can't believe I did that. That's so embarrassing, right? It's like the part took over, and because the part is essentially older because it's been there for longer than your evolved self, it just takes over. And so what happens is as we evolve, we're way more identified with our humanness and our wounded parts than we are our soul. Now, our soul is the energy, the beingness that chose to come here. It's like it just decided to have this human experience in advance. There was already a soul's curriculum that was laid out. It's like, okay, I'm coming to this world. This is what I'm going to do. This is my gifts. This is my medicine. This is this, blah, 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 blah. And then we come into these physical experiences. Well, what tends to happen is misalignment comes when the soul's curriculum and the human path are misaligned. And that's what creates a lot of the suffering and a lot of the pain, a lot of the agony. It's like, the soul came here to maybe, every soul's different. So that soul came here to potentially be a surfer, just making this up. Yeah. And you find yourself, working at State Farm Insurance and you hate it. And your soul is dying because it's not coming here for what it's meant to do. And so there's misalignment. And in the misalignment, there's suffering, there's addiction, there's suppression, et cetera, et cetera. You know the story.
Yes.
So what's so important for us to acknowledge is like, we have a human, we have wounded parts, and we have a soul. And the thing that holds all of that together is universal energy, Christ consciousness, God, whatever word you want to use, that is intersecting the entire thing. And then we have Mother Earth and whatever, right? So it's essential for us to have a healthy separation between the humanness and the soul. So the soul and the human can interact with each other. So the soul can interact with the wounded parts, because that's the only reason we need to have that dialogue to actually understand what the fuck we're doing here. Like I have more conversations with my soul than I do with Eric, and I'm with him 24/7, Yeah. Cause it's so important. It's like, that's how I run my business. It's like my team meetings are hilarious. Like we have this management meeting on Monday mornings, every single Monday. And we have our executive team there. And all I'm doing on that meeting is basically making decisions, do this, blah, 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 blah. And then there's a bunch of questions that I get where I'm like, I need to let this one land because my human doesn't have the answer. I need to actually ask my soul about this,
Yeah.
So yeah, it's like, that is our guiding force. Like, I don't know where I would be without that like soul dialogue happening. And so we all have this, and your soul is existing around you and within you and all around. And it's so important that we are intentional with developing that relationship. In fact, Pixar is brilliant in their new movie called Soul. I don't know if have you seen that movie?
Good.
It's so good, right? It's like, that is that is it. It's like they made that's an adult movie more than it is a kid's movie, right?
No
it's
doubt.
Like they're so intelligent the way that they did that, but it's like, that is exactly it. Like I watched that with one of my friend's kids and it just went right over his head. He's like, what? But I'm like, oh,
but that's great. Let it go subconscious. I'm like, great.
Yes,
let it go subconscious.
Yes, totally.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm really jazzed on right now, is like extracting the soul from the human body and knowing that we are both and.
Yes. What you were saying about like consulting your soul, like it's that inner attunement before outer attainment, like actually going in and being like, hold on, because so many of us, and I want to ask you specifically about this, but I find so many people are rushing around going, what's my purpose? What's my purpose? What's my purpose? And they're looking for everyone else to answer it for them. How do we as individuals start to get in contact with our soul? How do we start to get just more intimate with our soul?
Such a good question. It's so easy. Follow the desire, right? Follow the yes in the body.
So
like
good.
When I am doing soul-led activities, I am in direct connection with my soul. So when I'm surfing, I'm like, my soul's online here. Like, this is what my soul wants to do. When I am writing poetry, when I'm playing my guitar, when I'm going on long walks in nature, when I'm doing anything in nature, my soul's like, yes. And so following what feels good and doing the thing that feels good, and it seems so basic, but it's like, absolutely. That's the greatest capacity for connecting with our soul. We're not going to connect our soul when we're doing shit that we hate.
Yeah.
So the first and foremost is following the thing that feels good and getting yourself in that environment where your system feels so relaxed and just like I call them exhale activities. Like, what are your exhale activities where you're just like exhale activity feels so good, vacation vibration where, you're feeling like amazing. So first of all, we want to get into like that energy. The second thing is just the acknowledgement of the energy of the soul. So even just visualizing it. Okay. My soul it's a consciousness that lives all around me and within me. Okay. Can I just acknowledge that for a moment?
That gives me body chills, actually, to actually acknowledge the soul versus like physical form. That whoa,
totally, right?
Lit me up.
Yeah. Cause it's there. It's like the physical piece is just a meat suit that is holding the consciousness. So can we take a moment and really, truly acknowledge the consciousness for what it is? And then once we acknowledge the consciousness for what it is, which is this soul, then we can begin to ask questions. What is, and it's amazing how our soul speaks to us when we have an intention to hear and to really, really listen.
But what's so beautiful about what you do and these intersections is that, just like you say with pause, it actually buys us time, right? Those pauses actually buy us time to actually get back in touch, turn our awareness toward our desire rather than toward that attainment or that attunement first. And man, girl, I think you on purpose.
It's interesting though, because that is such an interesting conversation that people have with themselves. What is my purpose? Am I in my purpose? What am I supposed to do? And it's like simply just following the things that feel good. Your vibration is your contribution. That's the greatest contribution you can possibly give to the world, is your vibration. You're on purpose when you're contributing to the world in an aligned way. It doesn't have to be grandiose. You don't have to start this huge wellness business, or you don't have to do all of these crazy things. There's the most important moments are in the simplicity. The $1 million moments are just so simple, and that's it. And as long as we're intentional about that, there's such a deep capacity for depth. And the other question we want to ask ourselves is, what do we think finding our purpose is going to give us? Let's understand what those needs are. Because maybe you're already there, you're not acknowledging it.
Totally. Yeah. And if we're spending so much time wondering what our purpose is rather than just actually getting back in touch with who we really are, then that's that's a full-time job. 100%. That's such a big use of our energy. Wow. So I don't know if you feel cool talking about this, but I would love to hear a little bit of your experience with plant medicine, because I certainly have my own experiences, and I've shared a little bit here on the show. And so I would love to, because I do find that, again, when drugs help people, we call it medicine, and it is fierce medicine. And it is a beautiful wake-up call that takes that integration, which of course breath work and meditation really make possible.
Yeah.
But just your experience of kind of like alarm clocks with plant medicine.
Totally. Yeah. Well, I think it's important to note that these are teachers, you know, so they bring a certain consciousness. So the plant, so if we're talking about ayahuasca is a plant that holds a consciousness. And when we ingest that consciousness, we embody it and we get to see the world through the consciousness of the plant, not the consciousness of our parts. And so it's important to know that these things are not healing you. They're bringing your awareness to a different viewpoint, a different vantage point, so that if you choose, you can integrate the lessons that they teach. So one of the biggest problems that I see with people using plant medicine is they have escapism. So they keep chasing the medicine. They keep taking the medicine. Like I was talking to this person, he's like, yeah, I've done ayahuasca like 130 times. I'm like, whoa. Like the last time I did ayahuasca was 4 years ago, and it gave me 4 years of lessons that I integrated. And then I went back and I drank last week in Colombia. And now I'm good probably for another 4 years, you know,
no
like
doubt.
The amount of information, the amount of downloads that you get is so incredible. And it needs to be, you got to be responsible with it. You know, like I think it's crazy that people just do it so much and have almost like this addiction to it without the integration of the lesson. Cause if you keep doing that, then it's just not healthy from a psychological point of view. So yeah, I think totally. plant medicines. I mean, ayahuasca just basically downloaded for me. And it's interesting because they don't really teach you anything that you don't already know. They just bring your awareness to it. So there's a wing of Pause that we're developing. And it's something that I started 4 years ago. And then when everything got so busy with our technology company that I was like, I'm just going to forget about that for a while. And the ayahuasca was like, don't forget about that. That's important. Go do it now. And I'm like, okay, got it. Right. So it just brings your awareness to the things. And there was like little things where I'm like, oh, my intuition already knew that. Like, this is so crazy. This is such a small little thing. But the nail salon that I used to go to, my intuition was always saying to me, like, the owners of this organization are not good people. Like, stop going here and stop paying into this organization. Like, they treat their employees like shit. They don't have good business practices. Like, stop going here. But I really loved like my little lady or whatever. Like, that came through in my journey of like, stop giving your money to this corporation because these people are not good.
Wow.
It was just wild.
It doesn't have to be this like big thing, but it's so true that when the walls of the ego come down, you can actually like hear things for what they are rather than what we want them to be.
Totally. Like it's so interesting how it just gives you direct access to the truth, to what is. And it's so interesting. I was sort of like evaluating all of the lessons that I was learning from the medicine. And at the end of it, it's so simple. It's like, nurture what is important. It all comes back to love. It all comes back to you being in self-consent so that you are constantly nourishing and loving your body and your vessel. It all comes back to contribution. It's like simple.
And we like to complicate it, don't we? We really do.
Humans love to complicate things. We love to take things and spin them and put our own agendas on them. And it just creates more and more and more suffering. Like the path of true happiness is like such simplicity, minimalism, essentialism, like get back down to like what truly matters and just nurture what matters and forget all of the noise. Like, I'm renegotiating my relationship to social media right now because it's so fucking noisy. And I'm like, oh God, I can't.
It's such an energetic exchange too. It's
yes.
I feel slimed.
Yes. Yeah. And it's crazy because I look at my life and I'm like, some of the greatest things in my life have happened because of social media. My partner, for instance, my clients, like my clients who are like family, my team members have come from social media. Like there's so many good things about it, but it's like, how can I renegotiate my relationship and have way more boundaries around it so that I continually feel fueled and resourced when I'm using it and not depleted, because it's so easy to get into those traps.
Oh my God, anything can be a treat or it can be treatment.
Yes.
It's anything like, cool. Yes. This is a fun, like cute. I'm going to like go look at something fun on social media, or like, oh, I'm checking out. I'm out of here.
Totally.
It's so real. And I think the beauty of going back to plant medicine for a second is it does tap you into, you know, again, like these concepts are so universal and they're so like obvious.
Yeah.
Right. Like it's like love. Okay, cool. But like with at least for me in my experience, it allows you to feel it and embody it. And it's from that place that I find, at least for me, that I've been able to really start to tap back into it in the real world using tools like breath work.
Yes.
Without which I'd go, what the hell is this feeling? But in that space, being able to be held in that feeling and then take it into the world through these tools that you teach.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Powerful.
Dude, it's so powerful.
Oh my God. It's so good. What are you most excited about right now? Like, what's the thing that you're like, that gets me off?
This is going to sound so ridiculous. Are you ready for it?
Never. I want it.
I am so excited about organization.
Oh, I'm here for that. I'm totally here for that.
I didn't realize how much joy it brought me. Like little things, like one of our drawers in our kitchen, I have like all of my smoothie stuff in there, and it's all in like these random fucking bags. And every single time I have to make a smoothie, I have to like open all the random bags, and it's just a mess. So I'm like, I'm gonna get jars and put them in there and put the labels on. So I was getting so excited about that, and then so excited about like closet organization. And I'm really on this kick right now of minimalism and essentialism. And that has to do with like external things. It has to do with plans. It has to do with work. Like what is truly essential? Because when my environment is so potent in chaos and busyness, I'm not connected to my soul, right? It all comes down to that. It's like, how can I eliminate the noise and the distraction so that I can just have a clear access to my soul? And so little things like organization of my kitchen, the removal of any piece of clothing that I don't absolutely love, the removal of anything in my house where when I look at it, it doesn't bring me joy. Like Marie Kondo, this bitch up, you know, like I want like everything to feel so good. The only thing in my house right now that I have like in excess of is books. And I'm like, I'm not getting rid of this because I love just like gifting books, but that's literally the only thing, you know?
Damn, girl. That's so intense and
it
so
feels
good.
It feels so good.
It's so real. Like I was talking about this the other day with a girlfriend of mine. I was like, I feel like in order for me to like get back kind of on my path and on my track, I need to like go away and like just create some space. And like, it's true. Just like clear everything and then kind of reintegrate. It's kind of like doing plant medicine where you're like, I'm going to go away, like take this time and then come back in and like reintegrate. Sometimes you need to separate in order to come back together.
Absolutely. And it needs to break away to fall back together with more alignment.
More alignment every goddamn day. That's so good. Oh my God. Yes. Okay, cool. Well, I need to get on your level with the organization because my closet is like a polka disaster. Like
dude, I'm gonna send you a photo of this book that I got called Beautifully Organized.
Great.
And I geek out every day on it. I'm like, what else can I organize? Eric's like, you were throwing away everything. I'm like, I know, shut up. Let's keep going.
Yeah. Yes. And it feels so good. Great. Okay. So speaking of books, I want to know, I ask most of my guests this, 3 books that changed your life.
Ooh. Okay. Ryan Holiday, The Obstacle is the Way.
I do not know that one.
Oh, that is a good one.
Oh, thank you.
I love Ryan Holiday. I think he's a great writer. I love his philosophies. He's great. And Obstacle is the Way is this whole ideology of allowing the resistance and the tension of life to really shape you and allow yourself to grow from it. And last year was like an insanely hard year for me from a business perspective. And 2020, hello, I guess everyone had a hard year, but having an organization of 50 people and hundreds of clients. It was just a lot of like, hey, Sam, help us. I don't know what's going on. It was just like a lot of that. And so the Obstacle is the Way like really helped me use every single point of tension as a learning lesson. And so it's been such a game changer in my life. So Obstacle is the Way is an incredible book. The second book is called The Complete Works by Florence Scovel Shinn. And I hope I'm saying that name right. That book is all about shifting your energetics around money. So for those people who have scarcity stuff, money issue, money stuff, like have any sort of like negative relationship with money, that book is such a game changer to help you restructure that and embody abundance, which is super, super, super cool. That's that. The third book. Oh my God, that's so weird. That book is literally on my shelf right now. Florence Scovel Shinn. I said that right.
You nailed it.
That was weird. Hi.
That was good. I'm so here for that. And I'm really, I'm actually doing a lot of work around money right now, just because my financial situation has shifted a lot. And actually I find in some ways that the more money I make, the more like kind of clingy I get. Mm-hmm. And I get kind of graspy.
Yes.
And totally. And it's like, it's not even mine. Like, this is so like my grandfather's stuff. Like, this is so like, and who knows who it was before him, I'm sure. But like, yeah, that's great. Yeah. I'm excited to read that.
Yeah. And the third one, just because I'm on this kick right now, is called Essentialism by Greg McKeown. And it just talks about essentialism when it comes to plans, business, finances, material stuff. It's like, how can we eliminate the noise so we can hear more of the voice? And I'm just here for that message right now.
Oh my God, I'm so here for that message. If you could wave a magic wand and instill a belief in everybody, something that you think they need, something that you think we as a collective really are needing and yearning to hear and embody, what do you think that would be?
I feel like all problems come down to worthiness. Yeah.
Yeah, no doubt.
I think the world has a gaping worthiness wound that if it was soothed and medicated through our own presence and love, we would eliminate so much of the bullshit in the world. So that would be my wish, is that people heal their worthiness wound and just know that they are worthy. Because at the end of the day, people just want liberation. That's all they want. But they struggle to seek liberation because they don't believe that they deserve it, because their worthiness wound is so big.
I so agree. It's like, we do not need to put anyone else down if we feel fully worthy. We do not need to overwork, overstress, overeat, overdo, overcomplicate if we feel worthy. Yeah. It's like, again, that noise. And then we compensate. We overcompensate for shit.
Yeah, exactly. Wow.
Okay. Well, I don't know how this happened, but it's already been 40 minutes.
It's crazy. Hi.
So, hey. So I'm just going to do a little rapid fire moment and just ask you
I love these.
I do too. They're really fun. And I always just kind of make them up. So let's
love them.
Let's just see what comes out. Coffee or tea?
Coffee.
Me too. Sex or sleep?
Sex.
Wine or, let me drop my pen. Wine or beer?
Wine.
Sickening, me too. New York or LA?
New York. I hate LA. I'm sorry.
I'm honestly, I lived in New York for 12 years. I'm kind of contemplating a move back. I'm kind of with you.
Come to San Diego.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. I'm actually doing a big, where am I going moment.
San Diego. That's a great idea.
Great. Sickening. Cool. See you in a little bit. I'll be there for dinner. Mexican food or Italian food?
Mexican food.
Sickening. So good. Right now I'm the most grateful for
Raya, one of my friends.
Oh my God. I thought you meant the dating app.
Oh my God. Can you imagine?
Oh God. I'm like, wait, I thought you had a partner. I'm like, that's cool.
Totally cool with me swiping. Yeah. No.
Absolutely. Okay. Raya. We love you, Raya.
Yeah,
and then, pleasure is
chocolate.
Fuck yeah. Did I send you chocolate yet?
Unless you send it to my PO box, which I haven't checked yet in the last week.
I don't think I did. I think I need to send you some chocolate pronto. And my favorite thing about myself is
my humor, my lightness, my joy. Yeah.
Yeah, it's infectious. Like my smile is like out of control right now. Thank you for being here. I'm really grateful.
This is so great. I'm so grateful for you.
You're so cool. Again, she's so cool. You guys, please do check out everything, Sam Skelly. Where can we find you?
Instagram is the best spot, but you could also go to samanthaskelly.com and pausebreathwork.com.
Everybody do it. Everybody do it. Everybody do it. Okay. Thank you for being here. Much love, baby.
You're so welcome, darling. Mwah.
Mwah.
All right, you guys, thank you so much for carving out the time to listen to this wisdom, to listen to all this goodness. Once again, gentle reminder to please check out savagelosangeles.com to learn more about my new company that I'm so proud of. I hope it inspires you to create and cultivate a life that you dig. And also, if you are down and have, 10 seconds, then please give this podcast a 5-star review on iTunes. Super easy. Just give it 5 stars, maybe say a few kind words. And if you dug it, please share it with your friends. I would be over the moon with gratitude. All right. You guys are the bee's knees. Much love. Stay savage.